There's a lot of streams like this in the West, about this size, that people neglect. They go to the big waters, you know, and float down in their boats and stuff, and that's fine. But the potential for trout fishing in the West, as a matter of fact, in the United States as a whole, I think is in the small streams. Oh, it looks like that the good fish are just in these big holes. Got the minnows in between. I'm gonna have to move over, get on the other side of this current so I can get a float that's not too drag-free float. There it is. Went under the rock, that's where he lives. Right where he was supposed to be. The bigger fish are they're definitely in the holes. They're not, there he's coming down. "15-inch fish measured. Pretty fish, brown trout. My grandfather, he only fished on top. He said that if they're not gentlemen enough to come up, they didn't need them. And release this guy here. He's ready to go. Oh, that was a good fish, came up. Yeah, they're rising. I can see them coming up. I don't know what they're taking. They're coming up. Oh yeah. This is, if I go up this side, they're rising mostly on this side. And what I need to do is try to catch them at the tail of this thing and then release them below me so they don't go up and scare the others. That's the plan. It's really bright. So I'm going to fish the left-hand side of the current. Try to stay low. Spook these fish for a change. One came up right there in front of me. There he is. Got him. Oh, wow. That's a good fish there. Oh. Fish are so strong. You ready to look at this thing? Let's see what we got. He says he's 10 and he's 16. Wild stream raised brown trout. I'll put him back. There he goes. Well, the man from Montana on the camera says that they're taking something smaller than my green drake here. Of course, they took the green drake. The reason he thinks it's smaller is because he can't see them, okay? Now, I don't see any tiny flies hatching. I think they're taking the green drake nymphs as they come to the surface. So I'm going to put on an emerger. We'll see. Because an emerger is a lot easier to eat than a dry fly. So, of course, this one is working. We could continue to use this fly. If it's working, don't fix it, but hey, this is about experimentation. We'll see here. The thing about this one is it won't float as good, but if that's what they want, then, yeah, see, there's one that just came out of the water. That's what they're doing, all right. I better check. That's a good fish up there. I better check and make sure that, oh, there's a big one on the other side. I better check here and make sure. There he goes again. Oh. We have to catch the ones at the tail of the hole first. We don't want to walk up in there. Oh, there's a big one over there. We don't want to walk up there and spook everybody. I got to catch the ones close to me first. There's another one. There he is. Oh, the man from Montana was wrong. Semi-wrong. Okay, semi-wrong. You were right. The man from Montana was right to change the fly. So we'll agree. We'll agree to that. I have 4-pound test on here, and he's giving me all that I can handle here. He's testing this tackle for all it'll do. I guess he hadn't. This is, as we said in the military, this is field expediency here. Good way to break a rod. This is a serious situation here. I got him in slack water here, so he doesn't have the current advantage now. Have a chance now. It really seems like he's longer than 16. There's 7, and that's 16. There he is. Moved. Oh. Now that was a fish that's been caught before, that knows what a fly is. You see that? Oh my! Splashed like that. That's what that was. Now I gotta use something different now, because that fish there, he says, that was almost had. That's what he said. So I gotta do something different here. I'm gonna trim this fly. I think the wing was too high. Like an emerging nymph, he'll be floating with his tail down in the water, maybe even under the surface. Let's see if that makes a difference. And I'll wet the back end of it so it sinks. Let's see if that'll work. Other than that, I'm gonna have to change to something else. All I did was trim him a little bit so he was floating lower in the water. Of course, I'll have to change this now. It's got CDC, yeah. So this is look at that hook is almost bent out. This is what it looks like before it gets chewed up. Got the little fluffy CDC there, and then the body is going to be down in the water, and CDC above. I'm going to check this leader and make sure it's still strong, and it is. I'll put some waterproofing on it. The CDC, you don't put anything greasy on it or anything, because that mats it up and then it doesn't work. So I need to go on the opposite side and then cast to the edge of the current. There he is. Oh, my lands. How many fish are in here? Well, I want to know. This is a brown trout. He's got a dark tail. Man from Montana, we're never going to get any lunch. This is an interesting fish. Sometimes they have a dark tail on them. This one has a dark tail. I know it's a brown trout. I've seen them like this before. Yes. These are all wild brown trout. These are not stocked. Oh, they were stocked 100 years ago or something.